Rubrik just reported its quarterly earnings. Revenues up 39%, beats across the board, guidance raised, yet the stock fell. Hi, I'm Victor, and today we're breaking down Rubrik's Q1, a quick reminder of what the company actually does, whether the fundamentals changed, and a proper look at their new AI bet. Let's go. So here's the tension for the whole video. The quarter was genuinely great, but the stock had run up something like 48% in a month. It almost 2x'd in 2 months, so a lot was already priced in, or at least that's what market is thinking. Before that, it used to trade at even higher prices, so maybe it's a little bit less of a price for perfection than people say right now. We'll come back to that, but let me show the numbers first. So, revenue is up 39% year on year, 30 million more than Street's consensus. It's a 4% beat. Non-GAAP EPS 16 cents versus expected loss of 3 cents. Subscription ARR up 39% year on year. Subscription ARR is probably the most important metric, so that's great. And free cash flow at 74 million with 19% margin. So let me just say it straight, numbers are great. Let's go to the guidance. They raised it on all 5 metrics. The one that jumps out is full year EPS midpoint. It went up 76% from 17 cents to 30. All other metrics also raised. Subscription ARR was raised by about 1.3% if I done my calculations right. Okay, before we go deeper into the numbers, let's just make a quick reminder of what Rubrik actually does and why I'm bullish on it. So, Rubrik basically allows you to keep immutable, independent copy of your data and your identity systems totally separate from your live environments. And when you get hit by ransomware, they get you back up. The pitch isn't prevent the attack, it's you will get hit and we will make sure that you can recover. And it's not one product, it's a platform which consists of data protection, data security, identity security, cyber recovery, all inside one system across on-premises, cloud, SaaS, unstructured data, and identity providers. That one platform is sort of their competitive pitch. So let me show you the 4 pieces. Because yeah, that's where it gets interesting. So there are 4 products, all inside one platform. Let's start from the data protection. It's the simplest one. Basically, it allows your company to store backups inside the Rubrik system. It is stored inside the file, inside the read-only file system. So it cannot be even modified by Rubrik employees. And the whole thing is, why would anybody use it? So the whole thing is, if you get hit by ransomware and someone gets your admin credentials, the attacker can basically erase your backups. Your backups wouldn't be even needed anymore. Of course, you can somehow try to store them outside of your systems, I don't know, on hard drives and so on, but this requires manual labor very often. It is inefficient and usually you don't have up-to-date data. You have only up-to-date data from a week ago or so on. So this is what companies usually choose at first. And then Rubrik cross-sells the other products. It cross-sells data security, a tool which allows you to see if you get infected, when you get infected, what data got infected, and it allows you to choose from when you want to restore the backup, such that you won't get infected again when you read the backup again. And also identity security. This is recovering thing like Active Directory. Basically, if your identity system goes down in an attack, you literally can't log in to recover anything else. You even if you do have backups, you cannot even restore them because you cannot log in. So Rubrik recovers your data and your identity from the same place, same incident. And for cyber recovery, this is the part that actually gets you running again. Find the last clean point in time, so using data security, scan it for malware so you don't re-inject yourself, and restore the whole estate fast. It is also kind of their moat, because usually when you get infected, restoring everything takes weeks. Rubrik can do that in theory in hours. Practically, maybe it also might take some time, but still, every hour is valuable for your company. Every hour is money. Rubrik allows you to recover from attacks faster. And here's the moat in one line. Attacks are inevitable. Prevention isn't enough. So the real value is resilience, getting back to a clean state first. Rubrik basically invented this category. And AI era makes it 10 times more urgent, because I mean, you've heard about Anthropic new model Mythos. I know it's not fully out yet, but in theory, it can easily break into your app. It can easily find new vulnerabilities. And honestly, I think even today's good models like GPT 5.5 can easily, with a good prompt, find a way into your system. And besides, so much software now is written by AI, so it actually might contain a ton of fresh vulnerabilities. So attacks are getting faster and cheaper, and actually the recovery becomes the main thing that matters. But honestly, the bigger moat is even that is this. Those four products all work together. Most competitors are only point tools you have to stitch together first yourself. Rubriks don't have that problem. Each product makes the other stronger, so they can cross-sell them. And also, they can, even the customers choose Rubrik because of that at first, because they don't want to learn new systems each time they need new product, right? So this is their competitive advantage. And it's also the engine behind 120% net retention rate that we'll get to. And we can see it's working, because not only Rubrik is growing like crazy, but also in about 18 months, they went from number 7 to number 3 in data protection market. So they are the ones taking the market share. Okay, so now the exciting part. And maybe also the part that we need to be a little bit careful about, and it's this. Rubrik Agent Cloud. So basically, the idea is that as the companies unleash more and more AI agents that take real actions, so change data, move data, delete files, hit real APIs, the agent can break a lot. So Rubrik wants to govern them and also guardrail them, and what's more important, allow users to rewind them. So let's see these 3 layers. First is observability. Find every agent in your company. 2, real-time guardrails. So basically decide what agent is allowed to do. And it's a quite clever thing, because it is done by other AI model from the company that they bought around 1 year ago, called Predibase. It is a model specifically fine-tuned to basically check if the agent is not doing something that is outside of its permissions. And the third thing, mm, and it's actually the big one, is the thing that I said that nobody really has right now. It's agent rewind. So if an agent goes rogue or hallucinates and breaks your data, you hit undo. And Rubrik can do that because they already have the immutable history through, let me show you, through data protection layer. And that this is another great way for Rubrik to cross-sell you a new product right now. But to be honest, at first I was a little bit skeptical on Agent Cloud because basically, well, everybody does that, every company, and it's a little bit hard to compete with, I don't know, Microsoft, Google. I think that even CrowdStrike, Palo Alto does the same thing. And so why would the company choose the Rubrik? And maybe it's this rewind function, but I mean, it's not that hard putting agent in some kind of controlled environment, and if agent changes anything, then you also keep the old version. The guardrails, yeah, it's nice that agent wouldn't break out of some environment, or that you can actually run agent in your production environment without some containerization. It is nice, but a lot of companies do that. So we need to be a little bit careful on that. And today I actually changed my way of thinking a little bit. I'm a little bit more bullish on this Agent Cloud because on the call, Rubrik said that it's already pulling in customers who aren't their existing clients. And this is great because one thing is cross-sell some nice feature, and the other is if customers come specifically for this feature. So, well, I mean, we still need to see it in action, but I'm definitely a little bit more bullish on this product right now. And besides, it's a great thing that they try to innovate. And to be fair, this product really complements their whole platform. So this actually might be big one. But of course, right now it's zero revenue. We'll have to see in the next quarter or even in the next couple of quarters if it'll become the next big thing for Rubrik. Back to the numbers, ARR growth. So subscription ARR, as I said, is the most important metric. It's basically uh, how sustainable is your revenue, and they grew it 32% year on year. So previously they grew, let me read you, 39, 38, 36, 34, and again 34, and now 32. For the next quarter, they guide 27. So slight deceleration. We need to be careful for that. But one thing is companies don't usually grow forever, and the second is they usually sandbag their guidance. So I think that they're gonna beat it. This is probably my favorite slide. So operating expenses as a percentage of revenues. And yeah, sales and marketing, huge drop. General and administrative, huge drop. The only one that didn't drop is research and development. But it's usually not a bad thing that company wants to reinvest into itself. That's actually what Amazon did, right? And they are still doing it. Every single big company actually reinvest into itself, and a lot of people say that research and development is too big. But the next slide is probably even better. Stock-based compensation as a percentage of revenue. So previously, Rubrik diluted us like crazy. It was 8.5%. Now it's 19%. I don't actually remember how much the share count rose. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that it was in teens even. And right now it's also projected to be, I think, around slightly lower than 10%, at least if I remember my calculations right. But yeah, every single quarter we see drop in stock-based compensation as a percentage of revenue, which is great considering that research and development is actually going up, and usually research and development is the main drive for stock-based compensation. So yeah, it's actually great, and it's dropping fast. And it all shows up here, their contribution margin. Basically, how much of each dollar of their ARR drops to the bottom line. It went from 8% to 13%. Gross margins 83%. Free cash flow margin is 19. So the margins, especially gross margin, I think that gross margin is better than a lot of other software and cybersecurity names. So this is quite a good sign that this company might have a real potential to be very profitable. And that's the thing that we investor want to see. Another great number, net revenue retention. It's 120%. Fifth straight quarter. So what that means is every existing customer chooses to stay and on average spends more on Rubrik products. So the growth is coming from existing customers finding more value in Rubrik, and that's a good thing that we want to see. We want to see it above 100%. For software, it's a good thing if it stays above 110%. And another thing, it's great that this number isn't dropping. Okay, some more data. Customers with more than 100,000 spent up 24%. With more than $1 million spent 50%. And identity ARR, which is their third segment that I was talking about, up 38% quarter on quarter, 50 million currently. So still not a lot, but it's growing fast, and that's nice that new products are growing fast. Let me pull up a few quotes from the call because that's quite important stuff. First one, it's about Rubrik Agent Cloud. CEO is saying that they already see some POCs converting to the production, and one company even is committed to it, and it moves it to a full production across AWS Bedrock and Microsoft Copilot, which is great. Actually, the revenue is coming, I think, a little bit faster than I expected. Okay, next quote, the demand, and it's about CEO is saying that he's done more meetings than in last quarters, 50% sequentially up. But basically, it's a nice thing that he tells us that. And also, we can actually see that Mythos had a real impact on their business. And actually, we might see some re-acceleration in ARR growth because of that. So keep that in mind. That's a great thing that he said that. Okay, it's about their moat that customers don't want to stitch 5 solutions. They want one single platform. That's what I was telling before. And about RIC again. So also that is quite interesting that I thought that initially they're gonna only cross-sell it, but actually they can find new customers and even get new customers to buy their data protection and other stuff because of agents, because of Agent Cloud. I mean, I don't know how much truth is in it because that's only a CEO talk, but it would be a nice thing. So keep that in mind. Another great quote, and to be honest, probably every CEO says that. At least that's what you want to hear from CEOs. So we want to grow and take advantage of this market, but not grow at all cost. And I mean, I would usually ignore it as the CEO talk, but actually the numbers back it up. You can see in expenses dropping and margins going up. And back to why it fell. As you can see, huge price rise was in a couple of months. So maybe that's it. But actually, what I think is, I mean, market was a little bit hot right now, and it needed to take some breather. Other cyber security names like CrowdStrike also took a breather, so Rubrik also needs to. And I still believe that when it comes to valuation, at least 10 times CV to sales, it's fair, and 83% gross margin. That's great, and it is still rising. So they really have a potential to be very profitable company with actually, I think CrowdStrike is trading at 30 times sales. It has a less gross margin and less revenue growth. Mm, of course, it's different sort of business and much more quality one. Uh, but yeah, I believe that 10 times EV to sales for such cybersecurity company, it's cheap. It's actually cheap, and I believe that, well, this multiple wouldn't change over time. So now you get returns equal to the revenue growth, which is quite good returns in 20s, 30s, and so on. And also, I believe that they really, looking at their net retention rate and their new customer acquisitions and uh, looking at their uh, ability to also create new products right now, I think that they can grow more than 20% for many years. So that's great. So overall, I think it's bullish. I think that this is a clean beat and race. Margins are going into a good direction. We see a clear path to profitability. And, it's a great company. And yeah, I think that the core story is impact. The fundamentals are getting even better. And this dip is more about the market than anything wrong with Rubrik. And that said, mm, a few things I'm keeping an eye on. Deceleration of ARR. We need to keep an eye on that because if it goes much lower, that's bad thing. Also, we need to see in 1 or 2 quarters if really customers are mm, moving Rubrik Agent Cloud into the production and if it's a real product. Also, keep in mind for stock-based compensation, uh, so so that they will not dilute us. Oh, I said that the returns will be equal to revenue growth, but also keep in mind dilution, okay? And yeah, we need to see if they are still on track to be a profitable company. All right. And their analyst day is June 10th. So I'll be looking forward to that. And overall, great company. I think it's worth buying, but as always, not a financial advice. And thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate your time here spent with me. And as always, do your own research, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.